again. We are going to do our live with Sophie's Suitcase again, just because we've had some people say that the connection wasn't very good and you couldn't really hear her, what she had to say. So we're going to do it again. So we will wait for her to join, and hopefully you can hear better this time. So as I said before, Sophie's a travel blogger. She's been all over the world, and she has been recently doing a lot of staycation content to sort of give us a bit of inspiration for coming out of lockdown. So that's what we're speaking to her about today. Hello.
Hello. Let's try this again.
I think it's definitely better this time.
Hopefully, yeah. Let me just. Is there any glitches now when I speak, or is it okay?
Crystal clear, perfect.
Crystal clear, perfect.
Well, thank you again for joining us.
That's all right. Let's try again.
We can get all your juicy good tips and we can hear them this time. So as a travel blogger, how did you adapt your content during a worldwide pandemic?
So yeah, like many travel bloggers, it was kind of a forced pivot, and I definitely kind of went down the route of more kind of outdoor adventures in your own backyard, and yeah, just kind of finding kind of the hidden gems in your local area. I'm sure, as many people did, it was kind of all about finding walks and hiking kind of in the villages and fields and countryside near you. But yeah, I pivoted very much to kind of from international travel into definitely a more kind of outdoor adventures in your own backyard kind of thing. Also focused a lot around well-being and self-care as well, because in a year where mental health challenges have been potentially at their peak, I think it was really important to be quite honest and open with my own struggles and hopefully help other people at the same time as well.
Yeah, so you touched on it there that you were very open about your mental health throughout the pandemic, which I think a lot of people were. So it's nice to see someone like yourself with your platform talking about that and making it more something that is talked about. So do you think that wellness travel is going to be a big trend this year? And what would you suggest as a sort of wellness break to sort of reward yourself after the year that we've had?
Yeah, I mean, well-being is going to be huge for the next coming years, because I think we're all just a little bit more aware of our own health and looking after ourselves. And yeah, I think taking kind of holidays that are actually relaxing and you can actually recoup and recharge are going to be super important. I know myself, like working kind of a busy job and traveling the world, like often I would go on a trip and come back and feel more tired or be more exhausted than when I went away. And I think that's going to be really important moving forward. Then people are going to really appreciate kind of those more relaxing trips that are focused around their well-being, whether that's kind of a spa break or a trip to somewhere which is in the countryside and they're able to switch off and kind of rest, etc. Yeah, so I think it's going to be huge in the coming years.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a pressure if you go somewhere like nice and exotic to do everything, like absolutely see there is to see, when actually just being outside, which isn't something that we do a lot in the UK because of the weather, it's good to just sort of surround yourself in nature, which is really quite simple when you think about it, but I think a lot of us do forget to do it. So as 2021 is going to be the year of the staycay, what are some of your favourite locations to visit and why?
So I've just got back from Dorset, actually. I was there last weekend, and we stayed in a gorgeous little Airbnb and just kind of spent most of our time on the ocean or beside the ocean on the beach. We went down to Sidland and went to the beaches, grabbed coffee in the morning. We went paddle boarding at sandbanks of beach as well. So I think, yeah, I mean, Dorset there's so much to do. I mean, we didn't do even the more touristy side of Dorset, where we've got Durdle Door and Lulworth Cove. But there's so much to do on the south coast. But also Scotland. I visited Scotland 3 times last year. Scotland is so underrated. I think there's just so much to explore. So yeah, definitely add Scotland to your bucket list as well.
Yeah, definitely. It looks very pretty. You touched on Airbnbs there. So how would you choose an Airbnb? Do you go by sort of what they look like in the pictures or location? Because I'm terrible at choosing Airbnbs. I never know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, a bit of everything. I think location's huge. It's got to be, depending on what trip you're taking or where you want to go, it's got to be close to everything. But then, yeah, I love great decor. And so for me, even though often you're not spending that much time in the Airbnb potentially, only to sleep, it's still really important.
Yeah, definitely. I like all the sort of like little cabins in the woods that you get and tree houses. I'm all about those.
Yes.
So if someone's feeling anxious about traveling far and wide, what would be your tips to explore your local area or maybe venture somewhere that you've never been before? How would you sort of plan a day trip and know what's good to see in your local area?
I'd say just Google. I live in Buckinghamshire, just kind of north of London, and the best thing for me over the last 12 months has been kind of just heading out and seeing what's out there. And one of my favourite things to do is to go onto the River Ouse near our house and go paddleboarding or go for walks. I use Ordnance Survey, and they've got a great app where you can find you can either plan your own route or you can find pre-recorded routes which other people have already kind of mapped out for you. So I think that's a really good starting place in terms of kind of just finding those places, and often walking places off roads, you find all these incredible gems that you would never have seen from the car or would have known was literally five minutes away from your house potentially.
Yeah, the ordnance survey is a really good idea. I've never thought to do that, but it's like you say, it's already someone's done it for you and done all the hard work.
Yeah.
Good way to do it. So then, what would be your tips on how to take an amazing travel photo? Obviously, a lot of people like to go away so they can put it on the gram and sort of show where they've been. So how do you think is the best way to take a good travel photo?
For me, I take 90% of my photos on my camera, so I have a Canon, and yeah, obviously iPhones are so good these days, so more than good enough for photos. But I think having a great photo is all about lighting and composition, and also just working out kind of what angle you want as well. Photo needs to kind of need a wide angle lens for those travel photos. I think that's really important. But also not forgetting that editing in post-production, Lightroom's brilliant, and you can turn a very bland, dark photo into something amazing.
Yeah, that exposure thing is very helpful.
Yeah.
So for someone who wants to get into travel blogging, what would be your advice on how to sort of start up?
I would say, I mean, I started 10 years ago, so a lot's changed since then. I was just a blog back then, and obviously with social media over the last 10 years, it's made it a lot easier for everyone to get into it. So I would just say do it. Start on Instagram, start creating high quality content, informative and educational content that's useful to your audience. And yeah, just having a great camera, an idea of kind of what theme you want to go down and what content you want to produce. And just getting going with it. I think that's the hardest thing sometimes that holds a lot of people back. But yeah, just start and see where you end up really.
Yeah, and I think you said as well before about sort of having like the little nuggets of information of like little sneaky things that people might not know that are a bit off the beaten track that are a bit more interesting to sort of anyone who's just visiting to go to all the touristy things.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of my best trips in the last 12 months have been kind of the unexpected and those spontaneous trips, or when I wasn't looking for a certain thing, like where we go paddleboarding on the river near us. I've lived around here for 5 years and didn't know it was there. So yes, the opportunity to find those hidden gems.
Yeah, definitely. So finally, where are you most excited to go after lockdown? Where is the first plane that you are jumping on and where are you going? Or maybe in the UK, might not even be abroad.
Yeah, I mean, lots of UK trips planned, of course, but I'm actually hoping to learn how to surf this year, and I'm hopefully heading to Portugal at some point. So that's the goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be very nice. I can imagine being there on a beach somewhere surfing.
Yeah, a lot warmer water than the UK as well.
No wetsuit required.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, brilliant. Thank you so much for talking to us. I know the first time it was a bit of a glitch, so thank you very much for doing it again. It's very lovely to have your input. And if anyone wants to look at any of Sophie's blog posts or guides about where to go in the UK for staycations, then do take a look at her Instagram page and go onto her blog, because she's got loads of amazing information on there. And she'll give you a little bit of like wanderlust in aspirational travel as well. So do go and follow her. But thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully we will speak soon.
Yes, thanks you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.